Testing 1, 2. There we are. Excellent. Okay. Welcome to CNC with Javi, show number 25, folks. How are y'all doing today? Let's see. Bear with me. There's going to be like a good 30, 45 second lag. So if you put any questions out there, I will be answering them. Let's see here. Welcome, Eloy. Hey, Todd. How's it going? Tracy, Steve, and of course, Rick. How are y'all doing today? Let's see. What shall we have on the docket for today? By the way, I received a question early on in the chat from Steve Atkins. Looking to buy a router that he can use on the Gatton CNC that he's going to build next year. What does he need to take a look at now for the sales? Well, there are two ways to go. One is to buy a regular router, and another one is to go with a spindle. I highly recommend a spindle if you can save your money, and they run about 400, 450, something like that, but that's the entire spindle with the VFD and everything. It's an easy mount onto any one of the CNC machines that handle the regular router, regular standard sized router, as opposed to the little toy ones. I call them the little toy ones. The economical route is to go with a say a Porter Cable 690 or an 890. An 890 is a good, solid, beefy machine, especially for the solid router for the. But either one, for the Gatton, and either one, the 690 or the 890 will do fine. Hello, Steve. How are you? Hey, Mike. Hey, Cuz. How's it going? So, anyways, let's begin here, and let's see. I was looking. I'll start sharing in a second. Let me do a quick search here for something. I was looking online, and I came across this interesting looking wine holder. Let me see if I can pull it out here, and you know what? Let's start small with a simple wine holder with glasses. How's that? We'll start with that, and if anybody has any questions, let's see here. Hang on a second, Eloy. Eloy's being Eloy. Eloy, you have a wrench now. You happy? So, let's see here. We have a standard. We're going to start with, let's say, what would be about right for a wine holder? Say about 14 inches. We're going to do a one of those standard. You see them everywhere. It's got a hole in the middle. You drop it onto the wine, and it's got two little slots on the side for some wine glasses. Let's go ahead and try and make one of those, shall we? So we'll pull out our Vectric here. For those of you wondering, I'm using 9.1, 9.5, something like that. So let me just open up a new window here. Okay, and we'll make it 16 by 8. The size of the workspace. I always like to make a little bit bigger workspace. Hey, Dave. How are you today? All right. So, my particular, I want to do a particular shape for my little wine thing. So, I'm going to use a rectangle, and I'm going to center it in the middle. The middle is, what did I say this was? 16, so that's 8, and half of this is 4, so X will be 8, that'll be 4. I'll center it, and I'm going to radius external, so it's going to be a nice curve. My radius is going to be 2 inches, and the width will be 14 inches by 4, I believe, will be good. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so we're gonna have a nice little. There's our thing. Now we're gonna do something simple, which is create a circle. And now when you move it around, you'll find that it's right in the middle there. You get the crosshairs whenever you go over a piece. How big is a wine bottle? Wine bottle hole. Anyone? About an inch. I'm going to shoot for an inch here. So the diameter will be an inch. And we'll just create our circle in the middle. That looks a little small. Let's go for 1.25 inches. 1.5 inches. Yeah, what the hey, 1.5 inches. Just in case we get a big fat bottle of wine. And we're going to make one, we're going to make the holes. Let's make them at 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and make a hole at the same Y, but it'll be 3. And, oops, I don't want to get rid of that hole. I want to add another one. And this hole will actually be, yeah, that's a good wine goblet hole. Yeah, you're right. My cousin knows me so well. Time to reload the Diet Coke. So we have one hole there, and we're going to put another one over here, and that would be at 13. Let's make those holes a little bigger, shall we? Let's try this one. 2 inches is a good hole for that, and the same thing with that one. So we'll have our 2 holes there. Now we're going to make a nice little box centered here, and it will be. By the way, if anybody has any suggestions as far as a little project to do, whether it's hey Javi, do my logo, or something or other, by all means send them my way. I'm trying to see if I can knock out probably 2 or 3 projects in a show. It's going to be short shows, maybe half hour, 45 minutes roughly. This will be a width of let's make it 15 inches. And the height will be 3/4 inch. And the reason why I'm doing that is bank. Oop, that's not it. Let's try that again. 15 1/4. And why didn't it do it? I hate it when that happens. Oh, just having one of those days. Sorry, senior moment, guys. A sign for my new farm. Yeah, that's a great idea. For those of you who've been following along, which is pretty much most of you in this thing, um, I'm temporarily calling it Javi because, well, it's woods, and I pretty much am narcissistic enough to name everything with my name. But I'm trying to find a good name for the new property I bought. It's a 5-acre piece of lot that's got, well, it's not going to have bamboo on it too much longer, but it's got a bunch of oak trees. It's in front of a lake. It's a beautiful thing. And I could use a sign. So if anybody has any ideas, by all means, send them my way. So now what I'm going to do here is get rid of everything that is not what I want. So, yeah, some will say this is a hard way, but you know what? It's pretty quick for me, so. And there is our wonderful little thing device. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a roundover bit. Well, first I'm going to use first I'll use a roundover, and then I'll use a profile. So let's go to the toolpaths. Javi Forest just doesn't ring. The Unzueta compound sounds more like an insane asylum, which could be apt, but... Alright, so I'm looking here to do this and this with a profile. I'm going to, end mill is fine. Depth is going to be 0.75. Nope, actually, I take that back. I'm not going to do a profile on that. I'm going to do a, yes I am, but I'm going to do it on the line. I'm going to use a, let's see if we have one here, round over, 1-inch diameter, yeah, that'll do. No, I want one that's a tip. Okay, hang on a second. I have one here that's a little too small, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Copy, and I'm going to call it, because I just happen to have a round over that's 1/2 inch, which will be a 1-inch round over. The diameter is 1 inch, and apply. Okay. So when I do the 1-inch toolpath, and the cut depth will be 1/2 inch, of course. So for those of you paying attention, if this works correct, yeah, I have just rounded over. You see how it's whoa, that's extremely deep. Hang on a second. That's not the right, definitely not the right toolpath for this. Select it path point. Cut depth is 1/2 inch. It's a round over. Let me check this bit again. Oh yeah, that would be nice. Goodness gracious. Yeah. Sherwood Forest, huh? Alright, let me start with this again, because this, okay, so let me just check the numbers I have here. The form tool that I have is a 1-inch diameter bit, and I'm going down 1/2 inch deep. That is correct. Let me make sure it's 1 inch. Okay. I need to change that to 1-inch diameter. Apply. Step over must be greater. Yeah. 0 and less than the tool diameter. 0.1. How's that? Okay, that was what was messing me up over here. Let's try this one more time. Again, that just does not want to seem to cooperate today. Why does it keep going back to this? All right, let's just, for the sake of the show, I'm going to go ahead and put this at 0.375, or I think even, let's see, it's half of 0.375, so 375 divided by 2, which is 1875. Calculate, reset, and preview all toolpaths. Okay, that's what I wanted originally. Shady Acres. I like Shady Acres. Actually, I like Shady Acres quite a bit. No, I'm only cutting the trees around the house, around where I'm going to build a house, but everywhere else, not a problem. Okay, so now I'm going to select my wonderful, where are you? My end mill, 1/4 inch. Cut depth will be 0.75. And preview all toolpaths, and there we go. We have our little wine thing holder. So obviously the other side is still flat, no big deal. But we have the wine goes there, the other things go there. I am going to flip it over, and I will make a nice. Let me save this. Thank you, folks. Remember to hit the broth, Unsweater Ranch and Brothel Emporium and Bamboo Expo. Eloy, have a glass of rum. You've had a long day. Let's see here. Alrighty. So desktop, we'll call this simple wine holder. And of course, we shall save the toolpaths. Let's check. Edit tool number 2. Okay, change the toolpaths. Now we can save them. On my machine, I can swap tools and have it all in one blow. Well, apparently, I can't if the tool. No, well, they show different toolpaths. Oh, I get it. I was doing an Xcarve G-code for a friend of mine, so I forgot to set it back. Do you change how many passes it takes to cut through? Yes, it depends on. I mean, once you get to. Hang on, let me go to Cam Master here. Cam Master ATC. Tool change inch. There you go. Save toolpath. That's more like it. Mike, when I do a toolpath, it oftentimes, like for instance, here I've got one pass because it's a round over bit and it's only rounding the edge. On the second one, I've got 15 passes. Obviously, that's a little ridiculous. I usually take a look at these things before I go. However, with 15 passes, Yeah, it's going to take forever, but it's going to be one heck of a smooth cut on the outside. Let's see how long this is going to take, just to show you guys um, the difference that tweaking the paths makes, because this is something that's very important. Right now you've got, it's not too bad. It's an 8-minute job, 8.5 minutes. You're looking at 747, and that's because it's a very simple job. If it was something like a 3D carving and you're doing 15 passes, then that's a little nuts. But let's say that we go and change it to 4 passes. The machine can easily handle 4 passes. Heck, I do it on 1 pass, but then it would rip the board apart and it wouldn't be really nice. But the difference between 15 passes and 4 passes, you're looking at a time difference now of... okay, let's try to recalculate everything. Well, I didn't put something in there. Hang on a second. Let's try to click set passes so it actually takes. And there's the wine thing. And so for those of you who came in late, it's a wine holder. I'm sure you've seen it before. You set this on top of the wine, and you have 2 glasses there. I'm going to make a much more interesting wine holder in a few minutes. Let's see. Reset previewed. I did that. Close. And the time is now 3 minutes. So the difference between 3 minutes and 8.5 minutes is considerable, particularly if you're making a whole bunch of these. But just making 1 or 2. Now, the one nice thing about something like this is you can take the wine holder and say, let's say I call my place Shady Acres. So I'll go over here. And see if my thing doesn't lock up here in this case. So Shady Acres. Something nice and curvy. Like Lucida is usually pretty good for that. There we go. Lucida. Yeah, this is good enough. Center. We'll make it bold and italic. Apply. And why isn't... oh yeah, I know why it's not showing up, because I didn't drag it over there. Alright, so we'll take the Shady Acres here. I love my wonderful mouse here. Alright, and we're going to copy it. We're going to paste it over here. Another one. Normally I would take the time to make it nice and fancy, and evenly aligned, which obviously this is not. But close enough for government work. Okay, so let's say we take our Shady Acres and we go to VCarve. Actually, before we do this, one thing that you might want to note if you do work with these type of letters, where you want them all blending in, take this tool, go Weld Selected Vectors, and first you got to convert to curves, and hang on a second. And then you'll notice up here, rather than going through once the machine and then it'll go again through this thing, if you weld them, well, okay, let's try this again. Weld the outsides, I should say. And there you go. You got shady. None of these things touch. Let's go ahead and weld this one. So you got shady over here. And now that you've welded the vectors together, now do this after you finally have your final chosen size, because if not, it's going to be a mess. And then just take and select. Now what happened? Oh, goodness gracious. It's that stupid button that Windows has. Okay. Now that you have all of this, go to VCarve. Start depth. Let's make it 0.2. And calculate. Reset preview. Preview all toolpaths. That's way too deep. Let's try 0.1. I don't like going deep on the thing anyway. That's still a little too deep too. Let's try 0.07. 0.06. These kind of things, I mean, that's what's nice about this thing. Oh, by the way, and take your VCarve and make it either first or, well, not last, because that's always a big thing. So you got your little Shady Acres wine thing. And there you go. Save that. Save all the toolpaths. And you should be seeing this sometime next week. Hello, Matt. How are you today? Are you awesome, as you normally are? All right, so that's the wonderful wine bottle holder. Now, let me flip screens here for a second. Let me look real quick, because there is a particular quite comedic wine bottle holder that I found. Okay, I have... Let me see if I can find it here. I just found one. And it's a rather interesting shape. So, and it's a rather simple shape. And for those of you who have kids, well, hopefully they're not drinking wine, because this, you know, hide their eyes. Here we go. Let's see here. This particular wine thing I found quite funny. So I figure, well, why not make one? It's not that difficult. So let's go ahead and endeavor to do something similar to that. Bear with me. Find so all you got to do first and foremost is find a shape of a person. Well, preferably a male person, because that just doesn't work as well with the female persuasion. And I'm looking for male clip art right now, and I found one. So that's a nice simple male clip art. Let's let's go back to the board here. Yeah, Frankie, I was a wine bottle holder years ago myself. All right, let's go new here. And let's make this, we'll flip it around. We'll go 8x16. This is just the first portion of it. And, shoot, it's PNG. Let me see if I can, bear with me. Import bitmap. There we go. So we'll take our standard guy shape. And I don't know if you guys want to watch this next part. But after I... because it's not going to be... We're going to take and make... Well, first thing we're going to do is... do the old auto trace. So we take the piece, we do the auto trace. Bear with me, I'm thinking of how to go about this. Okay, and it's a simple black and white auto trace, default fading, everything. And come on, no. Get down here, preview, apply. All right. Now that we got that, we really don't need the original bitmap image. And I'm going to take and make a 2-inch radius hole. Oh, there's a good place. Maybe a little lower. Like I said, this may be something you kind of don't want to watch. And that's the simple part, anyway. That's the... Now, keep in mind, this is going to need some sort of a bracket or a brace to hold the wine bottle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this thing, I'm going to be a little bit more well, my wine bottle is actually going to be leaning down in the back. So so this is actually just going to have a couple simple little triangular braces here. And the neck, as we shall put it, will stick up. Bottle opener? No. Wine bottle holder? I don't know. And let's see here. What if it identifies as the other gender? That's going to be interesting. All right, so let me go ahead and what I'm going to do here is put a simple block in the middle. I hate my mouse. No, I don't. I just hate this, the way this program interprets it. Okay, we're going to do an inch by okay, so let's put half by half and see what happens. No, that's not half by half. Let's try that again, guys. This is what I want. Okay, this is getting annoying. Brand new program and it's not behaving the way it should. Now that I made that piece, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fillet this over here with a normal fillet of, I'm going to say a 1/2 inch. Well, in order to do that, I actually got to take away the rest of them, so. Okay, now that isn't working. Let's just do it this way then. We'll take this. We'll take this, and we'll take this. We'll take this, and we'll duplicate it. And then we'll take this, and then this, and say subtract. Good. Now let me see if I can fillet it or cut it. Nope. Nope. That's the only annoying part about this program, is sometimes you just gotta go up close because it doesn't really know where to choose. Pigtails. All right, let's try this again. There we go. That one, and what the? Oh, that was really messed up. Let's try it again with this side. Yeah, that'll work, sort of. Well, anyway. You guys get the idea. So that is the wine bottle holder, or at least the front of it. The back of it, we can cut simple triangles. We can cut a couple of feet. Let me see what the original looked like here. Let's bring that up here. Hang on. So, I mean, it's a simple matter of we can actually cut, which wouldn't be a bad idea. We can cut a little plywood piece here on the bottom and a plywood piece there, and that's it. That's all it takes. I would probably put a little an extra piece on top, but all of this can be done with a these can be done with a regular saw, and we're good to go. So, folks, I guess that's about it for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and try these projects out during the week and throw them in my challenge. For those of you playing along, well, I guess Matt's the only one so far that's entered, but I welcome everybody. You never know, Matt may drop off and well, in the theme of this program, peter out. So you never know who might win the almost impossible challenge. But only one person has succeeded, and I don't even know if I'll get through it. So come on in, join in. At the very least, get yourself into the shop. Do a little something each day. It's very relaxing, and I'm looking forward to trying out these projects during the week and perhaps making a little more. Next week, we're going to make Christmas ornaments, and we're going to make a bunch of Christmas ornaments. Ornaments with names on them, ornaments with, I don't know, whatever kind of thing you want. If you want to suggest ornaments throughout the week to me, message me, and I'll be happy to, if you want an ornament with your logo on it, or something like that, whatever you like. Remember, I take requests. So you guys have a wonderful week, and thank you very much for coming. And, yeah, Frankie's building a bed of nails, one nail at a time. Well, technically, since it's not just hammering nails in a board and you're actually creating a project, that counts. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you all for coming.